All right, welcome back, guys, to ESL Vainglory Cup Series. We're going to get underway with our first game. It's the winner bracket final. It's Red Team 1 up against Unknown O, and we're going to find out which one of these two teams will be advancing into the grand finals, which will be played a little bit later on. But guys, these two teams we got to talk about a little bit. Let's talk about Red Team 1 first, because they're the team that finished first in points at 565. They had the most cups won single-handedly with 3. How do you feel about them? That's the team you're backing to win this whole thing to get to Korea?
Well, I would love to see them there representing Europe. I think they will have a pretty hard time, especially in this match, because Unknown, they will go again for the stable game as usual. I think they're gonna pull up their A game or even like double A game. So I think it's really up to Red Wolf this time to carry. And MYQ, he really has to play the perfect support, and I think he has to face one of the strongest support players out there, Moldazy. So therefore, this will be definitely the focus for me.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into the picks in actually a little bit of time, but before we get into Unknown O, Donald John, that's the team you're backing. They finished second with 485 points. They won 3 cups as well, actually tying with Red Team 1, winning the last one.
Yes.
This is going to be a tough game. It's number seed 1 versus seed 2. This is going to be a really good game.
So one of the biggest points for me why I'm actually backing them, it's problematic. He just mentioned it. He's obviously not backing NKN at the moment, but he mentioned already Mosazi, and he's like so good at support. Like he did that. That was the gauntlet I talked about, and we will see that. I'm quite comfortable that he's probably going to play Arden. I hope. And yeah, maybe Ringo. I would love him to see Ringo, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Why don't we go and tell them to start the game off, and we can get into that and actually start talking about the picks that we do have coming up. Remember, guys, this is just a best of 1. The grand finals will be a best of 3 to determine which team will get through. It's actually 600 euros for first place, 300 for second, and 100 for third. And considering it's been 150 for each cup for first place, that's a big step up for money.
Yeah, and I mean, NKN already won 3 cups, so they have a bit.
What is that, 450 plus potentially what they can add here? That's quite a bit. The picks have stars. Going to drop you straight into this and see what teams are picking what. The bans, just to highlight for you guys at home, on Red Team 1, we had Taka banned against Unknown, and Unknown banned Fortress against Red Team 1. All right, so of course, guys, let's just remind you, we're on an Android device. This is the NVIDIA Shield, so it's still in beta currently. That's why we're having that Wi-Fi error pop up. But look at the picks already coming in. Celeste for Red Wolf, Catherine from IQ, and Koshka for 80-0.
So this is definitely something completely new. I mean, Red Wolf on Celeste, I really can't remember when he pulled this off. So he's like always going for Ringo or Vox in the lane. And MYQ, I mean, he has no other choice than going for Catherine. They need a strong stun against the enemy team. Fortress is banned. We have seen this a lot of times, and therefore 80-0 there. I think he will be the jungle carry, or Red Wolf, they are going to swap. This will be very interesting who's going where.
And just to mention that on the other side, I love
You pointed them out to us right away.
I love the soft pick. I love it. We will. Oh, they switch it up. They switched it off.
Oh, no Ringo.
No Ringo. No Gauntlet with Mosazi.
Well, we're seeing pretty standard picks. We're seeing Catherine versus Catherine. I think you guys were talking about that before we came back on air, and that was most likely expected between the two. Koshka against Koshka. But my question is now, the solo lane. Celeste, played by Red Wolf, up against Redemption on Vox. But guys, here we go. Kicking off the game on the blue side. It is going to be Red Team 1 with 80-0 on Koshka, Red Wolf on Celeste, and MyQ on Catherine on the side. For the orange team for Unknown O, we've got Medic on Koshka, Mazazi on Catherine, and Redemption on Vox.
Redemption, he's going to start with a Swift shooter. This time we have seen him, I mean, starting with anything. He's very, very versatile with this, and always trying to get the first item best to the enemy team. And yeah, as they predict their picks. All right, so both teams are going to start here for the jungle. Very passive. No team wants to like risk anything. But the interesting thing is 80-0. He didn't cover the jungle from Team Red 1. He directly went to the lane, and now there is Redemption joining.
So we have actually a melee facing and Ranger in lane, which is Redemption. And obviously we do have the book on 80-0. He's getting a good chunk of health back for every last that he's doing with that. And actually I heard that like a lot of people are saying there needs to be something done with the Book of Healogist, because it's just gaining way too much health for in melee in lane especially.
Yeah, I think we've come to that conclusion as well, just over the course of the entire time. But we might see a little bit of action breaking up. Mazazi and Medic definitely fancying their chances to potentially go in. Remember, there's Red Wolf on Celeste, which is a point we should really bring out as the jungler. And Don John, you know, what's your thoughts on this so far? Because, I mean, we haven't seen too much yet, but what can it potentially offer?
Especially the Celeste, what he's doing right now is the perfect, like a walking vision machine, basically.
Oh, there's the fight coming in. He's going for the stun. Who's going down? Medic, this is not hitting the stun. Now 80 joining. Will we see the first blood? I really don't know. Medic here in the middle of 3. First blood for Team Red 1. Moses, he can barely escape. MYQ chasing it together with 80 low on health, so he has to back off. So, well, that was a very interesting situation, very well played here from 80, seeing this coming back from the lane down to the jungle, and they directly go here for the gold from Team Unknown.
So just to answer that question, you just asked me before that that fight break out. And actually what Red Wolf is doing perfectly right now, and which no one expected, is the Celeste in jungle. And I started to say that it's a vision machine, a walking vision machine with that wonderful Solar Storms. And that's what he did. He's dealing a lot of AoE damage. I mean, he's quite squishy yet, because if Medic actually gets, who is already, I mean, we need to point that out, he's not like actually going for the Eclipse Prism and not for a book, what we normally see on Koshkas, at least in lane. And he would do a lot of damage into Red Wolf, but MIQ perfectly stunning, then the Heliogenesis, then the AoE stun out of the Core Collapse as well. So right now, I mean, there's sitting a lot of poke potential in Red Wolf.
And one thing I think we're also noticing out of a Celeste jungle is the fact that you can... Well, the major downside of the jungle is getting vision early on is really hard. And you pointed out the Heliogenesis definitely giving you the ability to see them before they can kind of see you kind of aspect to that. Not to mention the damage you can do alone. And then you pair that with the Catherine, the double stuns is pretty ridiculous, again, as you have pointed out. But we're seeing an Unknown, you know, trying to fight back. And the question always was throughout the entire, the entire cups was, are we going to see teams hold back in the last few cups when they know they're already qualified and they can do something really special into the finals? And I think we're seeing it here.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to add from me right there. I'm just curious, actually, what... Ooh, it just looked like there's going to be ADC a bit committing onto Red Wolf. But something interesting I am looking forward, like, actually, what is Red Wolf buying? Because, therefore, we do not see a lot of Celestes, and especially versus a Medic, super good player, and then also with Mosazi next to him. I'm curious, like, what he is aiming for.
All right, so 80 looking for some trouble, but there are a lot of mines actually from Unknown here. I do count like 2 now, 2 were popping up, or 3, so a lot of mines here. Mozazi busy as usual protecting their side of the jungle, and look at MYQ, he's trying to reveal all of them to protect or prepare actually the next fight.
And this is the response that we were talking about earlier out of Unknown. How are they going to deal with Red Wolf and the fact that he can give them so much vision just from his ability? Yeah. They're putting down a lot of traps. That's a huge investment into money out of them that's going to delay them getting items later on, and that might be exactly what Red Team 1's looking for. Force them to build and place items that cost them a lot of money in the beginning, and then you get that strong early advantage.
Yeah, just to say that, I see exceptions in chat, and he's like, Celeste, that's his favorite hero in the Halcyon Fold, so Halcyon Fold, there we go. So totally, he probably totally lost that, and to agree with that, I think the kit of Celeste is quite awesome.
And just to answer some questions in chat really quickly, a team that does lose can actually get through into the grand finals. They have to win the loser bracket finals to get up there to play for their chance to get to Seoul. And it's not based on points, guys. It's based on who wins this tournament. The whole points was determining the seeding coming into this. And the winner of this entire tournament, the furthest progressing European team, if we have any issues with that, will be going through to Seoul Korea to play up against the best teams in the world. But a little bit engaged breaking out. Meta just going to back away for now. But you can see both teams, we think about how they played, just last week alone when they played in the finals of cut number 9. They're being a lot more restrained, you know? They're holding back a lot because they realize you want to get that nice little win in the beginning to get yourself to the finals, to have a chance to watch all the other teams play and focus on what you want to do into that final best of 3.
Absolutely, and this is what we just talked about, Jason. We talked about, like, they don't want to maybe show their, like, A game or try to maybe not pick what they are going to pick today. So, and now we do see what is their A game, what did they prepare, and this will be the top match here. And there comes, well, the Merciless Pursuit here, just stunning him, but nothing more. They are going back to the jungle. And in the bottom, there is like Koshka and Medic, no Mozezi here. They are invading. Look at this. And now it's a 2 versus 3 situation. Well, Redemption is joining from the red side, from the right side, excuse me. Well, this is pretty interesting.
Oh, Redemption. He's getting caught out. He's getting stunned up. And look at the damage they can do. The Solar Storm's still available to be used, but they're going to take him down without even having to use it. The wait for it does come across the entire team. 80-0 getting locked down from Medic. Red Wolf being pushed out of the fight by Mozazi alone. Pops up boots to escape. In the meantime, Medic is trying to fight 1v2, and there's no way in hell he's going to survive that. Red Wolf, he does escape, and look at that. Red team won. They pull off a 3-0 lead in the beginning, and they're looking for the gold mine.
And that fight would have been over by now when Red Wolf would have not get Merciless Pursuit into his Solar Storm, because he already was swinging.
Look at Mozezi, he is going down. Maybe can they pick up the third down? Yes, they do pick him up, excuse me. So 4-0 lead here for Red One.
You had a good hunch about them. They're doing really, really wonderful. Yeah, just to say that again, Red Wolf, he's doing it beautiful, basically. And I believe that whole team fight just started because we saw Mozezi and Medic actually feeling quite too comfortable in the jungle of Team Red, and therefore they roamed way too deep into it, and they couldn't close it off, and therefore, like, yeah, you saw it, Medic and Redemption both got
and I think personally it is very questionable to go that early invading there. I mean, they had like no vision, they were like basically couldn't see where the enemy is. And therefore,
I think the part that really caught them out was the fact they had Redemption towards the east side, where the other team was, or the rest of his team was towards the west side. And they obviously knew when everyone left the lane that, oh, well, crap, Medic and Mozazi are going to get ganked. And Redemption had to come over without any vision inside these bushes to try to help him. He got completely caught out, locked down, and that was a free kill. I mean, I think that honestly could have gone Unknown's way if Redemption didn't die off the get-go.
I need to agree with that, and Yummy Catnip Frenzy is just coming up for 80-0, as well the ultimate of Red Wolf, Solar Storm. So we have all 3 ultimates actually up for Team Red, so they might look for a fight, and actually Mozezi still level 5, so there is no Blast Tremor, no big silence into especially Celeste poking a lot, and 80-0 may be jumping in with an not Merciless Pursuit, Yummy Catnip Frenzy.
And this is what we should ask you, Don John, looking at this game. Who's going to be stronger in the late game, or who's stronger in the mid game? Because currently we're approaching that mid game very, very quickly. You know, which team are you really favoring in terms of comps?
To be honest, I think that they have, with Celeste on the one side and the brother Vox on the side of Team Unknown actually 2 characters which both are really, really heavy strong in late game. I mean, we do see Weapon on Redemption's Vox. That's not as common as like Crystal normally is, like the golden path. That's what Play of Beard said and wrote in a patch note. So there are a lot of people now going for that weapon build, but actually that's going to be really interesting to capture if Redemption is going to have the upper hand in terms of damage output to Red Wolf.
Well blocked here from 80-0. The Merciless Pursuit actually from Mozezi. Now they're coming back. Well, I think they are looking not for some trouble here. Unknown going back. Well, it is pretty interesting because, well, Red Team 1, they are going for crystal damage. So the question is, Unknown, will they rush Aegis? And we can see Medic, he's on a shield. We can see no other on shields. Well, there comes the Merciless Pursuit. No action. That was MYQ. So the question is for late game, can Unknown counter Red easier than Red can counter Unknown? Because Unknown, they have attack damage on Redemption and they have the crystal damage on Medic, so they have a wide range, which is actually harder to counter with the defense items, and I think this will be a very, very interesting fact.
We might see, I think, a little bit of fight break out. MyQ actually checking the bush to actually spot them out. Both teams really looking for that initial engage. The flare being used just to spot them out to force them back as well. And wow, 80-0, as Don John points out, popping the infusion very early on for the crystal infusion, looking for a fight to maybe force this. And you see, well, Redemption do the same as well for the weapon power. But Goldmine, it's getting relatively close to paying out. It's like almost 3/4 of the way done. Actually just approaching, I guess, 5-6. I don't know how you kind of want to break it down. They're getting minion candy as well. And it looks like both teams might just back away. But you know there's going to be a fight breaking out. And at this stage of the game, Don John, which team are you going to favor to win this?
The next team fight, depending on how fast they can lock down Red Wolf.
Oh, there comes the Blast Tremor from Mozezi. He's jumping in. Yummy Catnip Frenzy, Red Wolf. There comes the wait for it. Redemption getting pulls out the block, and Celeste here is going down. Well, Blast Tremor from MYQ. Look at 80-0. He might go down. MYQ going down as well. And this is an ace at minute 10. almost 11 here. They are going to pick up the gold mine. I think they can pick up the full value. There you go. Yep, it was 900. We could see pop up the 900 on top on the gold amount. What a fight and what a nice comeback here. So 3-4 the score.
So there's actually the answer to your question.
That's what you called out.
Yeah, I mean, because they locked down Red Wolf perfectly. Medic just saw him trying to get out of there. He used a core collapse, not hitting anyone. And therefore, I mean, I believe he popped an Crucible right there, but... Oh, Red Wolf. Oh, that's a trap. That's a trap. Don't face check that.
Look at Red Wolf. He is going down. He has no chance. 3 versus 2 situation. MIQ might go down as well. He's blocking with his shield. And, well, he is going down to 0 this situation. And look at 80-0. He can't do anything. They didn't see this coming at all. What a well-organized gank here from Unknown. And they are looking to take this match. And if they win this semi-final here from the winner bracket, they are directly moving to the finals.
And what's funny between these teams, and we should kind of highlight this now while we're still into the earlier stages of the game, there's a lot of history between the two teams. Redemption used to be on Red. I'm not sure if it was Red Team 1 or 2, but he used to be part of the organization. So he definitely knows these players inside and out. And funny enough, the head-to-head records between these two teams, Unknown has won 3 out of 3 games against them. They have not lost a single time against Red Team 1 in the ESL Vainglory Cup Series. And you look at the rest of Team 1, they have a positive record against everyone else that's in the top 8 except Collab, where they're actually currently down 0-1. So it's kind of funny to see that Unknown has just been always able to get the better of Red Team 1. And you look at the head-to-head between them and Red Team 2. They actually have a losing record of 1 for 4. So they can't win against Red Team 2, but they can smash Red Team 1. And we're seeing them really fight back in this game, really take it to them, and trying to claim their spot into the grand finals.
Yeah, the rotation's just beautiful. I mean, they just picked up an ace. They picked up the minion miner, the gold miner actually. They did not push lane. They did not pick up minion miner after all, but they perfectly actually...
Oh, there comes a fight coming in. He wants to chase him. Blast Tremor, Yama Captain Frenzy, 8-0. He might go down. MYQ was engaging this one. Blast Tremor here. He is going down. Red Wolf as well. And MYQ, he might not survive this situation. Ace for Team Unknown here in the finals. And this was very, very interesting. They pushed the lane. And I think that Red was too late there defending the turret. And then MYQ pushed them hard way back, and then they just countered this 3 versus 1 situation, focusing MYQ down, and then 80-0 just followed.
Oh, that was a lot of gold with just 1 trailing death right out of Medic. And yeah, you just mentioned it. I mean, I started mentioning it, and it just happened again. They collapsed, they collapsed perfectly.
They collabed.
They collabed perfectly. And just to point that out again, they did such a smart rotation with trying to sneak in that little bush, and because both junglers...
Oh, look at this. It comes and wait for it. 80-0. He might go down in this situation again. And look at this. Core Collapse hitting 3 people. Solar Storm on the tank. Moses, he eats all the damage. And this is insane. They can't stand this. Moses, he just... There comes Medic with a Pouncy Fun in. And everyone is back. MYQ, well, look at the reflection from the damage. Red Wolf, can he pick up any kill while he can? Look at the great plays from Red Wolf. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an ace coming in for Team Red here in the finals. This is the plays, actually, we have been waiting for all the 9 cups, and Red Wolf, he is the MVP of this situation, going for the gold mine. What a play. Have you guys seen this coming?
I mean,
I think Don John did.
Yeah.
He called it. If you don't kill Red Wolf, if you don't focus in the game of the fight, then you're not going to win the fight. He can kite you and do a ridiculous amount of damage.
I mean, you saw that. So beautiful. The core collapse. He fighted over that big red tree, basically. He fighted Medic, and Medic was not even there. And just beautiful ace.
And the initial one, he caught 3 with the initial core collapse. So that's what you need to do. You land the core collapses. And I was trying to think, you know, while you guys were talking, what could facilitate the safety for Red Wolf? Arden might be a good champion to put, or a good hero to put in there, but then you lose Catherine or you lose Koshka, and those are 2 things again that you can't really lose. And I wonder, is Celeste someone you can play in the jungle only with this kind of comp? And Red Team 1, when they don't focus, or sorry, Unknown, when they don't focus Red Wolf down, it lets Red Team 1 do everything they need to win these fights.
So let's be totally honest here. In my opinion, they need Catherine and the side of on the Celeste right now. As you mentioned, Arden could work, Fortress could work, but especially against, I mean, they didn't know that they're going to face a Medic on Koshka, but if you want to somehow get out of that out of the Yummy Cat and Frenzy. You can use a Crucible, but you need to hit that. But there's actually the possibility with Merciless Pursuit to pick that up. And it looks like they're going to pick up Kraken right here.
Yeah, and Team Red One, they don't know that they are going. Can NYQ actually steal it? He will take the vision just a minute before it. No, the Merciless Pursuit comes a second too late. And NYQ, he has to pay the full price. He's going down immediately. Core Collapse hitting to Heliogenesis. Yummy Cat and Frenzy all over the way. Red Wolf here. Nice block from Medic. Redemption on low health at the bottom. Can he stay this 80-0 versus Redemption and Mozazi? Well, Red Wolf picking up the kill in the top. And wow, this is very, very exciting here. 2-for-1 situation.
That's the wrong way, bro.
The Kraken is pushing. I don't know where's Red Wolf going here. This is definitely not the way he should focus on. And this is an ace for Unknown here. The Kraken is pushing the lane down to the Vayne. And I think they can get at least one turret.
Oh yeah, that's going to be difficult to defend right there, because there's not a lot of DPS on MIQ. You can see how that turret is melting. And to be honest, that could be game if now Red is not doing the right move and trying to focus out Redemption, but it looks like they're doing exactly that.
I got the Yummy Catnip Frenzy up on 80-0. He's not using it just yet. I'm not sure exactly why. There he goes. It finally comes in, but it might be a little bit too late. He does follow the Kraken, finishes off the other turret, is looking for the Vayne Crystal as Redemption is just going ham on MyQ and the Crystal at the same time. Red Wolf, he's got to defend this. He misses the Core Collapse. He's missing the Heliogenesis, and Redemption is doing an amazing job kiting them. There's the ace coming in. There's the win, and that is going to be Unknown O picking up their 4th win straight up against Red Team 1 and get themselves into the Grand Finals of the ESL Vainglory Cup Series. Well done by them, and now they're one more game away from getting into Seoul, Korea.
Just saying, I called it.
we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Okay, you two can go at it. I'll stay out of it. I'll be the mediator for this one. But the item builds, we have to break those down a little bit.
Yeah, so as said, for me personally, Unknown here with the better pick, they have crystal damage, they have weapon power, and therefore much harder to counter for Red One. And Catherine, MYQ here, I think he did a good job, but Mozazi, I think he was slightly better providing vision and the mines, so the payoff was definitely there. And look at Koshka, played by 80-0, he finished the Broken Myth it is, I mean, since 1.5, a very, very interesting item. And together, of course, with the Aftershock, I mean, that is the core item you are going to go for. He dealt great damage, but in the end, he was going down too fast. And the MVP from this match, from my side, it is Redemption. Because, well, Mozazi, he could protect him most of the time as good as possible. And Medic here, he also did a wonderful job with the Eve of Harvest and with the Aegis, completely countering the team from Red One.
Okay, I need to point it out. I mean, it's obviously, you can see it. There's only one member in all of these 6 players who played actually Weapon. And that's like the perfect synergy. You do have Weapon and Crystal, both heavy carries, and then Mozazi as a perfect support right there. Mm-hmm. And the other side, they tried somehow to actually get not killed by Vox, but there's just not enough shield to counter a Bonesaw and a Tension Bow on top. Those are stacking, especially versus Catherine. No chance.
And I think we've seen as well from this game alone, just the power, that the highs of Celeste and the lows of Celeste. If she gets left alone, she can get an ace herself, 1v3. If she's taken out immediately, well, the team has nothing else to back it up with. And that's really cool to see between them, just to have kind of the best that a hero can do, and unfortunately the worst for them. But again, that does mean Unknown does move into the Grand Finals. We have a little bit of an update across the brackets. I think we're going to just in just a second. I'm just trying to refresh really quickly just to see if there's any other results. So we have Unknown P went against House of Batiatas, and Collab is still up against Red Team 2. So our 3 picks are still left in the tournament as of now.
Yeah, so, well, the question is who is going further in the lower bracket and facing Unknown. Well, Donjon, what are you thinking, actually? Who is going?
I just think that Red Team 2 is going to make it against Collab. Well, we don't know that if they finished yet. Probably they're going to finish in the next couple of minutes. Mm-hmm. But since we know that Collab, I mean, they're probably in for the money, but they can't win the trip to Seoul right here. They're probably right now more focusing to like train, but that would be a good opportunity to train. So it's difficult to say, but I have a feeling that Red Team 2 has the upper hand, is going to kick out the last US boys out of this tournament, and there will be only the Europeans left.
See, I think that's actually a plus for Collab, the fact that they're the last American team. You know, they want the bragging rights. They can't get to Seoul off of this, but they want to beat all the teams and be like, yeah, NA's still #1 kind of thing.
But they don't know that right now because they are right
True.
now in-game. They don't know that House of Batietos already got kicked.
Well, we will be going into, I should just keep the right side screen really quickly, or okay, no, we'll hop out, whatever. We are going to the Collab versus Red Team 2. The winner of that up against Unknown P will be our next game. Then the winner of that match versus Red Team 1 will be our second game. And then the finals, of course, will be the grand finals, which will be a best of 3. So best of 1s the entire way until we get into the finals to determine which team wins the 600 euros and the spot in Seoul, Korea. In the meantime, guys, we're heading to a break. We'll be back in a few minutes' time with our next game, and hope you guys enjoy.